Today I will speak about one of my favorite Norwegian black metal bands of the second wave, the most important wave of black metal. And I'm speaking about IMMORTAL. IMMORTAL, they are from Bergen, from Norway, and they were there together with all these great bands, the legendary bands of the second wave of black, of Norwegian black. They were together with Mayhem, Emperor, Burzum, Satyricon, Dark Throne, Ulver, Thorns, and the whole scene of this Norwegian black metal. Now, they started as a band in 1991. Before that, Abath and Demonas, the most important members of the band, they had another they had another band. They had a band by the name Amputation that they played a kind of death metal, and afterwards they made another band by the name Old Funeral. There were Abath, Demonas, and also Varg from Burzum, and also they played a kind of death metal. But in 1991 they started IMMORTAL. Now, the most important members that I said is Abath and Demonas. Abath, he played many kinds he played the guitars, he played the bass, especially the bass, he played the drums, and he was also the singer. And for the eight albums of the nine albums of them. Demonas, he played the guitar, and he had a problem of tendinopathy that it started a little bit after the fourth album of them, and for this reason he could play for many years. But he continued to be together with the band. He continued to go to every place together with the band, to the concerts of the band. And he came back to play the guitar in their last album of them, the ninth album of them, and he's today the leader of the band. Afterwards, the Abath left, unfortunately, the band in 2015. Now, if we're speaking about different epochs, different times of this band, first of all, we have the first periods of the band. We have the first period of the band, the first 4 albums of them. Afterwards, we have the second period. The second period is a little bit. It started with their 5th album, At the Heart of Winter, that it was a very great album, as we will see. And in the 5th, 6th, and the 7th album, they played a little bit more thrashy. Okay. Afterwards, we have another period of hiatus that is starting between 2003 and continued until 2007. They came back with the album All Shall Fall. Many people they thought that okay, here we have a good chance of a new period of IMMORTAL. Unfortunately, afterwards we had all these problems between Demonas and Abath about the alcoholism of Abath. Abath left the band in 2015, and today we have Abath, and he continues with his band. He made until now 2 albums. In the we saw all these difficult times of Abath when he played in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, 1 year before. And today he says that he's trying to comprehend with all this problem of alcoholism, and he wants to come back. Okay, and we pray for this. And Demonas continue the band by himself and together with the drummer Horg. Let's see now about their albums. Also, I have to say that in the place of the drummers, they had many drummers. They have Green as a drummer. He committed suicide in 1999. Rest in peace. But also they had for the time Hellhammer, the drummer of Mayhem, Eder Mageda, until 1996 that Horg became their drummer, and he continues as a drummer of the band until now. Together with all this, I have also to say that the kind of music that they play a kind between epic black metal with very big influences from Bathory and some kind of thrash metal, black thrash metal, especially in the albums as At the Heart of Winter, Damned in Black, and Sons of the Northern Darkness, that there we can find even more thrashy influences. Together with this, some also words about some other albums of the members of the band outside of Immortal. For example, Abbath, he made in 2006 a band by the name I, and he made an album by the name Between Two Worlds. Here also Demonas, he played a little bit in this album, and it was a good album with even more rock and roll influences, but also with epic black metal influences of Immortal. Together with this, Demonas, he made another album of him by the name Demonas, March of the North, in 2011. And this album is great, a great black, epic black metal masterpiece. Even epic metal, very, very, very great epic metal masterpiece. And afterwards, when Abbath left the band, left Immortal, he made another band by the name Abbath. First of all, in 2016, he made this. 2016, he made this album by the name Abbath. Okay, a good album. And afterwards, another album in 2019 by the name Outsider. Now, but here I try to rank their albums from worst to best, and I'm saying that in reality there is not a worst album of Immortal. Now, in ninth place, I will put the fourth album of them of 1997, Blizzard Beasts. And the reason is because this album is a little bit outsider, because of its death metal influences. Yes, here we can find even more death metal influences. Some people they say that is because in these years they made some shows together with Morbid Angel, and for this reason they became a little bit influenced by Morbid Angel in this album. But also it's a great album. Here we have a song, Mountains of Might, a great song. Another thing, Immortal, they speak about a concept that they made by themselves, the concept of, how they call it, Blasirk, okay? And this is a fantastic word. This is one of the bands of Norwegian black metal bands that they are not speaking so much about Satanism, maybe in their first album only, but especially in most of their albums, the whole thing about Satanism is a little bit less and less and less. More they speak about this concept of Blasirk and about mountains. We have many songs by the name Mountains in their works. For me, it's a little bit influenced from Bathory and also from Manowar. Okay. So we have Mountains of Might here. For example, Abbath in his first album. And here he has also another song, Root of the Mountain. For example, Demonas in his album March of the North, another song, Over the Mountains. Let's see. Yes, here also I of Abbath, song by the name Mountains. You can find it in many albums of them. Now, in the 8th place, I will put here their 6th album of 2000, of the beginning of the millennium, by the name Damned in Black. This album, many people that they like Immortal, they don't like this album so much. I think that it's a good album also. Maybe the reason for this is because its place. It came after a great album, a masterpiece of Immortal. It came after At the Heart of Winter. And the album afterwards is also a great album, Sons of Northern Darkness, and for this reason is a little bit sandwiched between them. But also great album. Here we can find thrash influences even more from At the Heart of Winter. And now, in the 7th place, a great also album by the name Sons of Northern Darkness, their 7th album of 2002. Here the thrash influences became even more stronger, but also a killer album. In the 6th place, the album of their return. And I'm speaking about the album of 2009, their 8th album, All Shall Fall. Great album, great epic black metal album. Also here we can find thrash influences. Many people liked the album when it came out. We can also find here another concept. They made the cover art as in the deluxe edition as 2 doors so you can open it. A little bit common with the second album of Possessed, also that had the same concept, 2 doors so you can open them. Also Big Wits from Sweden, they made something common. Great album. Unfortunately, after this album started the whole problem between Abbath and Demonas. Now, 5th place, a great also album, their last album, the 9th album of 2019, Northern Chaos Gods. And let's say, when this album came out, many people liked it very much. For me, it's one of the great albums of this year, of 2018, 2 years before from now. The first album without Abbath. Okay, and this is also the first album when Demonas he came back as a guitarist. And I can say that is so great, so great. The first 2 songs of the album, Northern Chaos Gods and Into Battle Right, it's like it came out from their first 3-4 albums of them. Also here we have the song Where Mountains Rise and the great song Mighty Ravendar. Great album. Now, in the 4th place, an album that I liked it so much and I love it so much, their first debut album of 1992. I'm speaking about the album Diabolic, Full Moon, Mysticism. For me, this is one of the best debuts of black metal in the whole scene of black metal. Okay, great album. Also, the video clip of the song "The Call of the Winter Moon," okay, is so funny. Okay, you can see Demonas and Abbath, especially Abbath, inside the forest with all. Okay, a very special video clip, very funny, but it's also great. Now, in the third place, here I had a little bit a conflict between me what will come in the which album I will put in the third or the second place. At last, I decided in the third place to put their third album of 1995, a great also album by the name Battles in the North. Some editions of the album they are a little bit different. The songs that are coming in different place. And another also thing about this album, you can listen to the album, and if you're not so if you not know exactly, you cannot understand when one song finishes, when the other song begins. Okay, but also is a great album. And here we have also the great song Blasiric Mighty Ravendark also. Now, in the second place, their second album of 1993, and I'm speaking about, of course, Pure Holocaust. Great album. For me, this is one of the best albums of them in their first period. Here also we have my favorite song of them, "The Sun No Longer Rises." And last but not least, in the first place, their masterpiece, their fifth album of them of 1999. And I'm speaking about the album At the Heart of Winter. Here, Immortal, this is an album with only 6 songs, but every song is a masterpiece. Here, Immortal, they became even more epic, even more, let's say, theatrical, with a good sense of the word. And here we can find some even more thrash metal influences. It became even stronger in the 2 albums after it. With a so good and so nice cover art, everything here is special. And this album is a hook album to bring people inside black metal. There are some bands and some albums that they are good to bring people to the black metal. For example, Grade of Filth, Dimmu Borgir, Dark Funeral, okay, Dissection, but also this album of Immortal, At the Heart of Winter. For me, this is the ultimate masterpiece of the Norwegians. So, from Israel, from Jerusalem, stay metal and stay heavy.